Have you heard of the UK's killer nurse? You have probably come across the story of how a neonatal nurse, Lucy Letby, has been found guilty of murdering babies. I know this sounds like a horror story. It is a heart-wrenching tale of how babies were killed. Today, the court has sentenced her to life in prison without parole. Who is this murderer? How and why did she kill the babies? How did she escape scrutiny for so long? Let's take a closer look. This is Lucy Letby, the killer nurse. She is the UK's most prolific child serial killer in recent times, and she has created ripples of fear for new mothers. In the year 2012, Letby started working at the Countess of Chester Hospital's neonatal unit. 3 years in, she started killing innocent babies. Can you believe that? Between 2015 and 2016, the killer nurse murdered 7 babies and attempted to kill 6 more. How did she carry out these murders in the first place? In unthinkable ways. You might find these details disturbing, to say the least. Letby deliberately injected the babies with air. She inserted nasogastric tubes and pumped air into their tiny stomachs. How horrific is that? Not just that, she overfed them milk, poisoned them with insulin. Letby regularly assaulted babies. Those who did not lose their lives were left badly harmed. One of them, by the way, is 7 years old now and faces severe learning difficulties. The child also has a lot of complex needs, harrowing and scary, isn't it? New mothers already have enough reasons to worry. But the killer nurse's case has taken their fears to a whole new level. Let's just tell you more. During her killing spree, Letby took care of hundreds of newborn babies. She spent a majority of her shifts looking after the sickest babies on the unit. Can you imagine that? Hundreds of babies were exposed to a heinous killer like Letby. And what's even more alarming is how composed Letby appeared after taking all those innocent lives. And I have some of the text messages that she sent out to her colleagues after these murders. They might shock you, but it's important to know these details. Let me just read them out. This one was right after her first known murder at the Countess of Chester Hospital. I'm quoting, "I just don't know how I'm going to feel seeing parents. Dad was on the floor crying, saying, 'Please don't take our baby away,' when I took him to the mortuary. It's just heartbreaking." Another one read, "It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do." Just 3 days later, she messaged a manager to assign her more shifts, but her request was declined. And 2 weeks later, after her third murder, she sent this text to her colleague. "On a day-to-day basis, it's an incredible job with so many positives, but then sometimes I think, how do such sick babies get through? And others just die so suddenly and unexpectedly. Guess that's how it's meant to be. I think there is an element of fate involved. There is a reason for everything." Can you believe that? Can you see how Letby was fooling everyone around her? After each murder, she messaged her colleagues, informing them about the deaths. And in turn, she received sympathy, she received concern. She tried to cleverly conceal her crimes, but not for very long. You see, before June 2015, there were fewer than 3 baby deaths per year in the neonatal unit. But ever since Letby came into the picture, the deaths rose alarmingly and for unexplained reasons. In June alone, 3 babies died within 2 weeks. Letby's murder spree had been going on for roughly 2 months when the unit's lead consultant grew suspicious, and he soon raised concerns to the top bosses. Other doctors also spoke up. But guess what? The management dismissed their concerns. In fact, asked them to stop making allegations. The top manager even asked them to write an apology to the killer nurse. The unexpected deaths continued in 2016, and Letby finally came under fire. She was dismissed from the medical duties and given a clerical role. Soon, she was under investigation. 2 years after that, she was arrested, only to be released on bail. Letby was arrested twice more and finally charged in the year 2020. You see, she may have manipulated her colleagues through her emotional text messages, but what the police found at her home told an entirely different story. Letby had left behind some handwritten notes. Let me just read them out for you. I don't deserve to live. I killed them on purpose because I am not good enough to care for them. I am a horrible, evil person. And in capital letters, I am evil, I did this. Lucy Letby's trial had been going on for the last 10 months, and reports say it is one of the longest murder trials in the UK. After over 76 hours of deliberations, the jury has found her guilty of 7 murders, 6 attempted murders. And upon hearing the verdict, the killer nurse broke down. She also refused to appear for her sentence. A murderous nurse continued to work for so many years. She claimed so many lives, left so many parents devastated. You see, the role of nurses is highly significant. But what happens when they turn out to be murderers? It is a nightmare, one that has unfortunately come to life now. We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.